day for the Redneck Garage. Man, sun's starting to come out. It's awesome. Continuing working on the frame on the Jeep TJ, trying to get the rust off, treating it, kind of going from the forward to the back now that we got the motor out. I'm going to be starting to take some of the stuff off the front end components, brakes, you know, because as we work backwards, I'd like to get all that done. Maybe time to start looking at it, putting some lift on to get some of these parts off. So I'm going to be looking at that as we go back. All right, I just got in a package from FedEx Home, and this is going to be, it's hard with one hand, man. Oh, awesome. This is our chassis saver satin black paint for our frame. That's going to be the next thing we're working on. Super cool. And it's like 40 bucks a quart. This is my favorite chassis paint. It stops rust. It's really good. So creates a very hard shell. So this is the paint that we're using on the frame. These front shock absorbers are just trash, so we're going to be taking them off. The springs are going to be replaced, so we don't need them. The ball joints, the tie rods, all that stuff's coming off. Got a new steering stabilizer, so basically all this stuff is going to be replaced. But the frame is the main concern. You can see around there, around where the coil spring is, we really need to get that cleaned up and coated and treated so it doesn't rust in the future. Alright, so I took off the sway bar and I'm starting to clean it up. That looks good. And I took easy off and sprayed off the steering gear. It looks like for sure this has been replaced more recently. You can see like the tag on it there. And it's a little different colors, and it's never been painted. So it looks like at some point they replaced the steering gear in it, which is cool. Got a new steering gear in it. Should be fine. And I'm starting to wire brush the frame going back. Let this dry out. Tomorrow it's supposed to be sunny. And we will start doing some treating and painting. Randy's here! Right, so I'm using some Rust Reformer. Eastwood makes a product. This is something I bought at, I think, AutoZone or Home Depot or somewhere, I don't know. They're all about the same. It's an acid-based converter, and it's got some other stuff in it, some kind of epoxy, I think. But anyway, when you spray it on, it'll get black, and I'm going to put it on the spots that we're going to paint. Alright, so that's about it. I've got the Rust Reformer painted on those parts that we're going to coat, that frame rail going back to the engine mounts. And it takes about 48 hours, it says, for this stuff to cure. You're not supposed to let it get wet. So we'll let that dry overnight. Tomorrow we'll be coating that, and that part of the frame will be done. Of course, this part, it's got a lot more parts on it because of the front end and the motor and all that. As you go back, it's just not as many parts, just your supports and your rest of your frame. So now we're going to be taking apart the axles, knuckles, all that crap. Okay, the frame is dried to a really nice satin black finish. Looks great. So I'm going to be using my chassis saver paint, which it prevents rust. It's kind of an alternative to POR paint, which I don't really like. I used this on the other YJ, and it did a really great job. So I've been using chassis saver paint. I like it. I got my blanket to lay on. I thought it would be cool, since this is the Redneck Garage, to get a camo blanket. How cool is that? It's a pack, you know, like a moving blanket. But I can throw this on the ground, and the driveway isn't so bad. So I'm going to use this as kind of a drop cloth, and also something to lay on while I'm doing the painting and doing some of the frame stuff. So cool! I suggest using like some of these really cheap brushes. This is what I've been using. They work fairly well for doing like the frame itself. Use it on the other truck, and I'm happy with these. You just throw them away. You don't have to clean anything up. So let me shake this paint up a little bit and we'll get going. Okay, as far as the frame goes, I was really tickled with it. I think it brushed out good. The rust treatment looked great, and then the top coating of the chassis saver paint looks outstanding. All right, so this will dry down to a kind of a satiny black finish. And on my other YJ project, what I did was when I did the tub with the bed liner, I sprayed the frame on the sides under the wheel where it's visible with the bed liner coating. That looked really super cool. So that'll just be one more layer of protection. All right, as far as this part of the frame, man, I'm super happy with that. It looks great. It's starting to dry up, and it'll be a really pretty satin finish. Looks awesome. Now our next step, besides doing the axle, when I do all the front end components and the axles, the driveline, brakes, all that stuff, I'll be coating that, cleaning that off. And I'm going to continue moving back on the frame, and I got that one rear part of the frame to cut out and weld in a new piece. But anyway, the next step is going to be Eastwood's internal frame coating. It comes with this nylon little sprayer nozzle that you stick in the holes of the frame, and you go down through the holes and it internally coats the frame. Now, the cool thing about being a locksmith is that I've got a safe opening camera that's a scope that actually records. So I'm going to do some before and after shots of internally inside the frame of what it looks like before we spray it and then after. So it'll give us kind of a good idea of what the coverage is. Is it worth the money? You never know. But anyway, hopefully it won't rain today. Let this stuff dry up. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.